little feedback. Having said that, I'll go into what I want to call the politics of mining. I'm sure everybody's thinking about MPP or NDC or CPP. This is not the type of politics that you may be used to, but these are the things that influence our productivity, decision making within the mining industry. So you could be a very good engineer, well trained. You will go into the industry and you will struggle to make a mark because you do not understand some of the things that you need to know before you go into the industry. So I'll go through a few of them. There's the strong politics of the environmental regulations and its compliance when it comes into the mining industry. You are not watching TikTok and you are following up on issues within the industry. You would see that now countries are becoming very, very strict on environmental regulations because nobody wants to allow the environment to degrade and generations that come after us suffer. So every other day, there is very strict regulations that countries are putting together to make sure the environment is safe, and particularly to manage the mining industry. We may see some of these things as jokes, but if you think about tomorrow, there are a few examples around. I won't mention the companies' names, but there are projects that were supposed to have started last year. Up to now, those projects in Ghana haven't started. And they are just I know of a company that even had after all the noise and the buzz, they are just doing their second public hearing, which was supposed to be earlier. Now, if you do not understand the impact that these environmental regulations and compliance has on the industry, and then you're working as a young engineer thinking it's all rosy, you might get it wrong. Now, as engineers, what is our role? We need to look at developing technologies that will make the environment safe, and that is our role. So whilst you are in school, one of the things you need to be thinking about is how do we design technologies that make the environment safer? If you go to the Met Lab, I'm sure they have several lixiviants that they can use to recover gold, but a few of them are popular. Years ago, in Obuasi, I don't know if anyone heard that. You are young, so you probably wouldn't know. If you took oranges from Obuasi, it was very nice, very sweet. There was a reason. Obuasi had a technology which Bogosu later used, which was roasting of refractory material. They were roasting the material to oxidize the material and then make it leachable. Now, the roasting had the fumes going into the environment, but there was something in the fumes. If you look at the sulfide material, you probably have arsenic, which was going into the environment, and this was helping sweeten the oranges in the environment. Years down the line, there is biological oxidation, which a group of people sat down to look at the environmental impact of roasting. And now most companies that used to have roasters are now moving into biox and other technologies that are more environmentally friendly. So you need to understand that environmental compliance, now when as engineers, to try and whilst you are in school, whilst you are in the industry, develop strategies and technologies that will make the safe. And that is the only way you can survive the industry. The other thing that I'll talk about is, and Prof said, land rights and the indigenous communities. I work in a mine which is 3 yards away from the community. When I say 3 yards, very close. We drive through the community, and if you do not develop the skill to negotiate well with the indigenous communities, you can have the best project on paper, you will never see it actualized. And if you are actually operating, your project could actually come to a halt because you have not developed that skill to negotiate that thorny issues with the community. And there are several examples around. Newmont has suffered part of it. I think the Ahafo North project has suffered a big deal because of community issues. So it is important that you understand that these communities, they may, and so for if you go to every mining company, we have managers called the community managers, and you ask, what do? They give you what we call the social license to operate. That license is not on paper. EPA will give you a license, it will be on paper. Mincom will give you a license, it will be on paper. But the most important one is called social license. After you have received all the approvals, the community you are going to work in, would they even allow you entry into that community? Now the land is theirs. You have to negotiate with them. They need to agree. If you have to relocate the community, oh, then you are in trouble. Even the type of toilet you build is an issue, and it can take you 6 months to solve just that one. Somebody and another person are fighting. He doesn't want his house now next to his neighbor, but your original assessment, the man is there. It is a big issue. Prof said he's dealing with that at Tebrebe. So it is a big issue. If